questions that fall in the category of natural selection. And to start with, I would like to start with what is natural selection? Natural selection is a fundamental process in evolutionary biology. It describes how traits become more or less common in a population over generations based on how well they enable individuals to survive and reproduce in their environment. Individuals with advantageous traits are more likely to survive and pass on these traits to their offsprings, resulting in the gradual evolution of population over time. Now, what's the mechanism of natural selection? In a very simplistic way. Now, this natural selection operates through several mechanisms. These include directional selection, where one extreme of a trait is favored. For example, a longer neck in giraffe for reaching food. Stabilizing selection, where intermediate traits are favored. For example, average birth weight in humans. And disruptive selection, where both extremes are favored. For example, beak size in a bird population with different seed size. The next question is variation and inheritance in natural selection. For natural selection to work, there must be variation within a population. This variation arises from genetic diversity and mutations. Individuals with traits that provide an advantage due to the genetic variations are most likely to survive, reproduce, and pass through traits to their offsprings through their inheritance. Now, what are adaptations and the fitness? What's its role in natural selection? Adaptations are traits that have evolved in a species due to natural selection, increasing an individual's fitness, its ability to survive and reproduce. Favorable adaptations enhance an organism's chances for surviving in its specific environment. Over time, adaptations become more prevalent in a population as they confer a reproductive advantages. What are the examples of natural selection in action? This is another important question. So there are numerous examples that illustrate the natural selection. One classic example is the peppered moth in England. During the Industrial Revolution, initially the light-colored moths were common, but and soot color, they were dark, and moths gained an advantage in camouflage, leading to an increase in their population. What could be the role of environment? Environmental factors, often called selective pressures, drive natural selection. These factors can include predation, competition for resources, climate, and diseases. Individuals with traits that help them cope with or excel in these challenges are more likely to survive and reproduce. Uh, Evolution of antibiotics, antibiotic resistance. This is another important thing. The evolution of antibiotic resistance in bacteria is a prime example of a natural selection. Bacteria with genetic resistance to antibiotics survives exposure to those drugs, leading to resistant strains becoming more prevalent over time. Now, this has serious implications for medicine and public health. And speciation and divergent evolution. Over long periods that these natural selection can lead to speciation, the formation of new species as populations adapt to different environments or ecological niches. They accumulate genetic differences that eventually prevent a successful interbreeding. Now, this divergence leads to the emergence of distinct species. Now, talking about human evolution and natural selection, what science talks about it. So, natural selection has shaped human evolution. Early hominins with traits advantageous for survival and reproduction, such as bipedalism and larger brain size were the favored over time. The evolution of traits like language and tool making contributed to the emergence of modern humans. And now, this natural selection certainly has some limitations, and it has large number of, while natural selection is a powerful mechanism, it has certainly limitations. It can't produce perfect organisms, as adaptations are constrained by existing genetic variations. Additionally, environmental changes may occur to rapidly for species to adapt, leading to the extinction. So these were some of the basic questions that were that I have tried to answer, these basic questions with some basic answers. It's all about the science here we are talking about. That